So yesterday we talked about that a pair of lines can intersect, crossing one point, be parallel, never intersect, or overlap, always intersect, in which case they have infinite solutions. Um, and we graphed a couple of systems to find the answers. And the answer is always where the two lines meet, that point. Okay? And we were lucky yesterday. I was about to say we were yucky yesterday. We were lucky yesterday in that each equation we graphed was already in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. Well, life doesn't always treat us that nicely. And so today, some of the equations are not going to be in slope-intercept form. They're going to be in what we call standard form. Now, we've rewritten equations from standard to slope-intercept before. We're just going to have to refresh our memory how that works. Okay? So we're going to have to do a little algebra. And so that means we're going to have to rework these equations a little bit, like adding, subtracting stuff, and all of that stuff. So I think we're going to use the typing tool to do all that work. So let's go to the Zoom and maybe like 200. Let's go 200%. That should be fine. So we can clearly see what we're doing. Okay, so this is where we're at right now. Okay? And we're going to practice first how to rewrite equations into slope-intercept form. Okay? And it's once we start doing it, you'll hopefully say, oh yeah, we've done this before. And it'll come back to you. All right, so it says when solving a system of equations by graphing, equations should first be written in blank form. Slope-intercept form. So let's grab our typing tool. I have it at 16%. I think that's fine. Typing in green. I like green, I guess. That'll work. Slope-intercept form. So it tells us practice rewriting equations A through C in slope-intercept form. Okay, let's practice. So if you don't mind, I was using the drawing tool period 1 and it just kind of got tedious to do the algebra by trying to use the drawing tool as a pencil. We're just going to use the text tool. So I'm going to switch to red. Okay. So here's our goal. We want to write this equation that's right now 2x plus y equals 7. And right above it, I'm going to write down what our goal is. We want it to look like this. Y equals mx plus b. Everyone type in y equals mx plus b. Okay, that's our goal. And what we need to do is on the left side of the equation, you see the left side? We got 2x and y, and all we want on the left side is just y, okay? And that means that 2x that's on the left side, it's in the way. We don't want it there. We want to push it over to the other side. We want to eliminate it on the left. So we want to do the opposite of 2x to get rid of it. What's the opposite of 2x? Negative 2x. So underneath the 2x, I'm going to type in, and luckily it's in red already, negative 2x. Oops, 2x. Come on, Mr. Contreras. There you go. Well, 2x, when you add opposites, remember when you add 2 and negative 2, makes 0. So when you add 2x and negative 2x, it makes 0. So it's going to do the same thing. It's going to cancel it. But whatever I do on one side of the equation, remember we got to do on the other side. So on the other side, it could be underneath a 7. That won't change anything. We'll put another 2x, showing that that's what we're going to cancel. Or this, remember we call this a transformation in algebra. I am going to use the drawing tool for one quick thing. I got to change the stroke thickness to 1. And I'm going to show that it canceled by just drawing a line there and then just drawing a line of separation here. That's all I'm going to use it for. I'm going to go back to typing. And I'm going to type in what my equation looks like after doing subtracting 2x, okay? We got one. Yeah, we got a y equals. Maybe I'll do purple. Y equals. This is where it gets, we got to think. We have a 7 and a negative 2x. They don't combine. We can't make like a 5x with those because one term has x, the other is a constant. They don't mix. So you just write them separate. Start with the x term, negative 2x. And what do we have along with it? A 7. So we're going to write that as plus 7. And guess what? We now have an equation in slope-intercept form. We have a slope, negative 2. We have a y-intercept, 7. If we needed to.
The goal of this one was to have y equals mx plus b.
Uh-huh.
Will there be other sorts of goals?
No, that's it. Because we want to rewrite it in slope-intercept form so we can graph it, right? Because yesterday we were graphing and it was easy because they were already in slope-intercept form. But sometimes the equations are going to be in this form called standard form. We got to rewrite it. Okay? So that's our goal. Just rewrite them in slope-intercept form. Let's do a couple more. Let's do letter B. So we're going to do the same thing. We want to get rid of the x. So let's subtract x on both sides, guys. So underneath x, I'm going to put its opposite, negative x. Someone in period 1 asked a good thing because we have wound up eventually needing the 1 here. They said, is it okay if we just, whenever we see that, we put negative 1x? You can, and you'll see why it's a good idea in a moment. And on the other side, where the minus 9 is, or negative 9, I'm going to put negative 1x also. Okay? So I'm just going to subtract negative x or negative 1x on both sides. I'm going to grab my drawing tool again and show the canceling for that. Okay, come on. So let's write down what we have left. We don't have just y, unfortunately. What do we have? We have 3y, right? Positive 3y because there's a plus in front of it. Let's write it down, 3y. We have 3y. And then on the other side of the equal sign, what do we have? Let's put the negative 1x. And we also have something else. Besides the negative 1x, what else do we have? Minus 9. The negative 9, so we'll write it as minus 9. Okay. So now this is our new equation. We're not quite there, right? Almost, but not there. We have 3 times y. We want just y. We have to get rid of that 3 that's being multiplied. You got to divide it. So here comes the drawing tool again. I'm going to draw little fraction bars to show division. Underneath every term, put in a fraction bar. Because what we're going to do is we're going to divide 3 to everything. Okay? So we have to divide by 3. So underneath here, we're going to put a 3. And then scoot over another 3. And then scoot over another 3. We're going to divide by 3. And then we should get our final answer. Well, the reason we did all that, I'm going to drawing tool shows the canceling here. We want to show that we get y all by itself finally equals, well, it's negative 1 divided by 3. Why don't we just write it as negative 1/3, 1/3? x. And then we have negative 9 divided by 3. How many times is 3 going to 9? So minus 3. There's our new equation in slope-intercept form. Y equals negative 1/3 x minus 3. And really, that's about as tough as they get. So let's just do one more, letter C. And then we'll just graph a couple, and then we'll go on to the assignment. Okay, so let's fix this one. I just want you to get comfortable with the process again. We want to get rid of everything except the y. So let's start with negative 4x. We want the opposite of negative 4x. Plus 4x. How rude. Let me grab. Oh, she's not here. Yeah, she's not here. Not here. Okay. So on the other side, let's put a plus 4x. Oh. And let's cancel. These are opposites. They make 0, no more. Separate this. Okay, something we have to be careful with. Look at my equation now. Notice I have that minus in front of the 2y. Remember, that comes down. We have negative 2y equals 4x minus 12. Okay, that's what we got. And now let's divide out the negative 2. Okay, so that's our next step. Let me grab my drawing tool again. I'm going to make 3 little division bars. And divide out 3. Ooh. I feel so. I had Miss Green do a cameo in my video. She doesn't know it. All right, let's see what dividing by negative 2 does for us. Well, first of all, definitely cancels out the negative 2 here. So now I just have, go back to text tool. Let's see what I get. I get just y. Mission accomplished. I wanted to just get y. I have negative 4 divided by 2. I'm sorry, 4 divided by negative 2. That's going to be negative 2. Negative 2x. Now I have negative 12 because that's a minus 12. Negative 12 divided by negative 2. That would make it 6. So plus 6. There's my equation. Y equals negative 2x plus 6. Okay. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. Look out for those signs always. Yes. Because that's the main thing. I see everything gets perfect except like one little sign somewhere that should have been flipped. And that'll throw everything off, unfortunately. That's the thing about math. You got to be detailed. Okay, guys. Let's practice solving. So this is going to be typical of some of the equations you're going to have, okay? Let's go down. You guys ready? Let's go down and do some graphing. We're only going to do 3 and 4, okay? So it says, solve the system of equations by graphing. If necessary, and it will be necessary, rewrite equations in slope-intercept form. Okay. Excuse me. So we have number 3. Actually, we won't have to rewrite anything in number 3. So in today's assignment, you are going to have a few examples like this. And let's just graph some. So let's look at 3. We're going to graph y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. Okay, so back to using our tools for graphing. So that means I'm going to go to drawing, change the thickness to 6, stroke thickness, pick a color, and let's start graphing. This is our equation. We want to put our point where? It's a +3. So we're going to look for 3. This +3, remember, that's our y-intercept. It tells us it crosses the y-axis at 3. Right there. Okay? Now let's use the slope, the -1/2. That tells me to go down 1 to the right 2. Down 1 to the right 2. And we really don't know where this is going to cross. So I'm going to just put a few points, hoping it crosses one of those perfectly. If you want, and I'm just kind of like one of those people that wants it to be perfect, I'm going to put as many of these points as I can, making sure they all fall in line. So if I'm going the reverse direction, I'm going up and to the left, like we did yesterday. So now I have pretty much everything covered with points. So I go to the shape, thickness is 2, that's good. Make sure it's the same color. It doesn't have to be, but that's just me. There, good enough. Okay, that's our first line. The next one is y equals 5. Do you remember what kind of line this gives us? When it's just y equals a number, it's a special kind of line. Yeah, I think you're trying to tell us it's horizontal. Yes. It's going to be a horizontal line. It's going to be flat like that. Basically not have a slope. It's a 0 slope, to be honest. So that means it's going to cross. You see where y equals 5 right here? It's going to be flat right along there. So what you want to do, go to the shape tool. It's going to be a line. Let me find 5 that's going to go just horizontally. So if you want to make a perfect horizontal line, hold the shift button as you're drawing your line. And it's going to just be perfectly horizontal there at 5. So that's y equals 5. And now we know where it crossed at -4, 5. -4 to the left and 5 up. So the solution, let's type it in. Is -4, 5. Boom, there. Okay. Any questions? All right. So let's do one more and then we'll get to the assignment. You guys ready? Okay, this one we are going to have to do a little rewriting. Which equation has to be rewritten, the first or the second? The second, right? Well, let's just graph the first one because that's the easy part now at this point. So this line is going to cross its +1 at 1. Then the slope is 2, which is 2 over 1. That tells me up to the right 1. And I'm just going to make a few more points. I think that's good. Just maybe one more that way. Okay, I'm going to make my line. Remember, make sure it goes all the way across because you never know where it's going to touch the other one. Okay, so there's my first line. Like I said, the second line we have to go ahead and rewrite. So let's do that. back to the text tools. We want to get rid of this negative 2x, so let's add 2x. Okay. And drawing, cancel. Ooh, whoa. Forgot to switch this. So let's see what we get as a new equation. We get y, oh, okay, that's what we wanted. Y equals 2x minus 2. What do you notice about both equations now? The one we started with and this new one we get, y equals 2x minus 2. It makes more sense. But compare it to the first one, the y equals 2x plus 1, the other graph that we made. Yeah, it's plus 1 minus. How about the slopes? What do you notice about the slopes? Anything there? Yeah, they got the same x value. 2. That might make a difference, or that might mean something. Let's see. Same slope, different y-intercept. Okay, well, it's telling us to graph at negative 2 on the y-axis. That's your first point, right? The minus 2 there. And then the slope is 2 over 1, so you go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. Ooh, someone already said something they observed. What do we think is going to happen? Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a solution. These are parallel. These are parallel lines for sure. So we're going to have a no solution here. Yes, definitely parallel lines. Therefore, down here, where it's asking for a solution, none. No solution, basically. Okay. So this is an example of what a no solution would look like. Those two lines are never going to touch, so we have a no solution. Okay. So like I said, the rest of the notes, we're going to finish them up tomorrow. All right. And we're going to move on to the assignment. It's on delta. Okay. So at this point, we're going to transition to delta. There's a few examples we're going to do together there. So we're going to stay with the video. And so don't pause the video now. You want to see what we did on delta. And everybody else, yeah, let's go ahead and go to delta. You guys ready? All right, let's go. So let me get into the assignment. And the assignment looks like this: solve linear systems by graphing. And here we are. So we're going to graph these two. If you notice, they're both in slope-intercept. The first three examples we're going to do, both equations are in slope-intercept form. So we don't have to rewrite. Let's just graph these and get practice. So our first equation is y equals x plus 2. So let's just go ahead and, remembering that this is 1, so our slope is 1 over 1 and our y-intercept is 2. Let's graph this. First point is at 2. Then we're going to do up 1 over 1 for the slope. There's our line. Okay. Second line, the slope is -1/2, and the y-intercept is 8. Okay. So that means our first point on the y-axis is at 8, and it's -1/2, so we go down 1 to the right 2. And this is our point of intersection, which is 4, 6. Now, on your Chromebook, sometimes it's hard to see. You might have to like pinch out. You know what I'm talking about on your, so you can enlarge it. Is that 4, 6?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. 4, 6. Okay, and we're just gonna back out, and that's example 1. Let's go on to example 2. Okay, and we'll go quicker with these now. So let's move on to example 2. So we got y equals 4/3 x minus 2. So let's graph this at -2. And then we want to go up 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 3. There's our first line. Then we want y equals -2/3 x minus 8. So that's telling us our we're going down to -8. And then it's down 2 to the right 3. So be careful. Down 2, 1, 2, and then over 3 spots. Ooh. Did I do that right? Because it's, I think I might have messed up on this one. Let me just double check. Oh, did you see what I did? Yeah. Let me redo the first line. -2, not +2. And then I go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How did I know that I did it incorrectly?
They weren't touching.
Yeah, they weren't touching in like a what we call integral points, right, where the two crosshairs meet. If that happens, check your work. And I'm glad we caught it. Okay, so this is at -3, -6. -3, -6. -3, -6. So let's go with -3, -6. Boom. All right. So we got one more of these, and then the next examples, we will have to rewrite one of the equations. Okay, so here we go. This one, no rewriting though. So let's go with y equals x plus 8. Remember the slope is 1, so let's go +8. And this tells me up 1 over 1, since the slope is 1 over 1. -4 for y equals -3x minus 4, so here. And that's -3 over 1. So I'm going to go down 3 over 1. Okay. Is this crossing nicely? Yes, at -3, 5. So everyone, we want -3, 5. Okay. Yes. Okay, I'm going to back up. So you're going to tend to do like that. Then let's do 2 more. These are going to involve rewriting. Okay, so I want you to go to example 4, please. Let's all go to example 4. And I can already see the second equation we'll have to rewrite. The first one is ready to go. The slope is Remember, we have this in slope-intercept form already. And the slope is 1, so first point is at 8, up 1 over 1. Here's our first line. Done. Second one, I'm going to rewrite over here. We'll do it together here. But once you start doing these, you may want to take out a sheet of paper. So here's my equation I have to rewrite. I'm going to get rid of the 2x. Subtract it. And I'm left with y equals negative 2x minus 4. Is that ready to graph? Yeah. Yeah, it's, y is all by itself. That's, as soon as you see y and nothing else on the left, it's done. You can graph it. So first point is at negative 4. Then it's saying down 2 over 1. Since the slope is negative 2. And this is crossing at negative 4, positive 4. So for example, example 4 is negative 4, comma 4. Negative 4, comma 4. Okay. All right, so let's just do one more example. And then I'll let you. Example 5. Again, first one's in slope-intercept. The second one we have to rewrite. So let's just do the first one. Y equals negative x minus 1. Oh. Negative 1 is our first point. Go down 1 over 1. Here's my first line. Okay, I got to rewrite the second one. So there it is. I got to get rid of 3x. Subtract 3x. Bring down the negative 2y equals negative 3x plus 12. We have to divide. On the other one, we didn't have to. This one, no choice. Okay, so I got negative 3 divided by negative 2. Negative divided by negative, we'll make that positive. That's positive 3 halves x. Positive divided by negative is negative. 12 divided by 2 is 6. There's my equation now in slope-intercept. So this is telling me on the y-axis at negative 6 is the first point. Then I go up 3 over 2. So solution is at 2, negative 3. Negative 3. Negative 3, guys, for example 5. All right, so that's going to be the assignment for today. And we're just going to continue the notes and finish them up tomorrow, okay? All right. If you're following up at home, that's what we're working on today, okay? Bye now.